Hello and welcome to Jank Job. We are back after a lovely weekend away from the computer, and we are ready to get back into the jank business. Now, we have a Fisk here, which is basically the Fisk, the Truth deck, with a couple tweaks that I'll go ahead and leave you in the description. And we are up against Next Design, which is, I'm always impressed with. Anyway, looking at our hand, we're going to stop slowing them down so much. I like security testing early on. And like having a Desperado. That gives us some okay money. But that's dependent on being able to get into servers. And this idea is very much about, if they don't get completely screwed, is having as little options for me to get into servers. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. So we're going to see what this option does for us. We did pull into a Temujin instead, but we do have a Desperado still, and even that same passport left over. Apologies for the coughing. I may have picked up something fun on my little weekend trip. But hopefully I haven't. So anyway, we see that their ID ability has fired. And it is going to go ahead and give them 2 pieces of ice across their important centrals initially. So we do have a subliminal, which makes us wonder, is it just an encouragement to run, or is it going to play with Jeeves and shipments to fast advance goodies out? We'll find out. But seeing that subliminal makes me think that I would like to be pretty aggressive towards any remotes that end up hanging out. We do have a new server up, and we're going to have some thinking time if they play something in that remote server. Okay, but we don't quite have to. They got a whole bunch of servers up and ready. So I don't feel particularly great about slamming down a Temujin and going crazy as a result of this. So instead, I think we're going to poke around a bit. First, we are criminal, and we're always interested in account siphons and other nice things. Fisk especially, we're going to cause so many cards to pool up in HQ that it's something we want to look into. So we're going to go check out HQ right now. See what we get. The nice thing about Fisk is even if they didn't res, we could force a draw and just potentially luck sack into something. We do hit a next silver. That's going to go ahead and end our run. They do have 3 more credits. It's very possible we could force another res on R&D here. Let's see what we can get. There's a good argument for putting down that Desperado first. Do we want to make them draw? No, right now they're at 4. We don't really want to accelerate things. So, peak efficiency. I haven't seen this in a long time. So they're going to be having a lot of ice. What do we want? A little boring, but alright, so you can say that this play is definitely inefficient, and you know what? I think I can definitely agree. But what this does do is it's essentially spend 4 credits to demand that this ice is rezzed. Otherwise, give us a very strong economic advantage. And they're going to let us have it. Alright, so now their R&D is a little more porous, and they need to do something about it. Not so much porous as it is a benefit to me. So we could just see a money turn. We could see something heading out in the remote. They're thinking about things. It's also very likely they just didn't want... It's likely they didn't want R&D. No, they didn't want to drop that low on credits, so they didn't res it. Now that they're at 6, maybe they're a little more comfortable resing. But at this point, they have a full hand, and we're going to go ahead and press the point even further. Do you really want to res that? So we're going to investment seminar. They get 3 cards, we get 3 cards. Now, the question is, at 6 credits, is that a Fairchild? Is that something we have to worry about? And that's something we really do have to chew over for a moment. So on that note, because of that, and Fairchild is such a concern, I don't really want to run here while they have 6 credits on anything but my first click. So what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and get some drip money going. And I am kind of okay with credit and drop down the Desperado. Next turn, I think we're going to go ahead and run R&D and see if that is a Fairchild. Okay, something to keep in mind, even if they're not using it for wombo combo stuff, we don't want to let them have that subliminal if we can. Alright, so here enough, they are icing up R&D. And that's very possible that we could see a 3.0 and something else in front of it. And they're filling up their remote, and that looks like they probably pulled into a agenda. And they have 1 card too many, so they need to discard. I was almost going to say, let's go ahead and Fisk. This is a great turn to pressure some money out, because they have 5 credits. Because they're not in Fairchild 3.0 range, we're going to go ahead and play a bit more aggressively. So let's go ahead and force them to drop again, because I think they want to score something up. And then we're going to go ahead and run R&D and see what happens. Because I know that can't be a 3.0. So nothing. Nothing. Okay, this furthers I thought that this might be a 3.0. So we're going to successful run and get 5 delicious credits off of this. And yeah, let's go ahead and trigger this as well. Just really bury them in cards. We hit a subliminal messaging. And we made them draw some. Alright, so now I think let's put down a mongoose and run server 1. And we just hit a next bronze, and that's going to go ahead and end the run. They have enough money to score out whatever that is, and if they're running peak efficiency, I'm a little worried that might be a beta test. So let's see what it is. Okay, money's on this being a beta test. Alright, so APTs can definitely make things real ugly for us real fast. If they get at least 1, I'm expecting 1 to pop up on R&D. But let's see how our hero Fisk handles what's about to happen. An Architect and 2 trashes. The fact that an Architect had to go down sort of tells me that I think that may have gone badly for them. And we do have Mongoose up, so we can just go money up. They have no more clicks left, and their hand is gigantic. Now, what are the odds that this HB is running something prickly that will poke us from inside of archives? Not too much. Not too much, so I feel pretty good about going after it. Alright, so start of turn, we're going to go ahead and get some daily cast money. And let's see. Architect to break is... It's going to be 3 credits with Mongoose. You think about Fisk's ability, if you're thinking just about access-wise and not flooding, it is not that great before you get your Find the Truth out. That being said, I should take advantage while R&D is not going to be rezzed and squeeze some money out of it. We are going to go ahead and run Architect this turn, or Archives this turn, but we do want to check this out as well. Okay, so the question here is, do we use Fisk's ability? They're in a 5-card hand. We could help them draw into money, but they're at 1 credit. So I am all for making them sweat, actually, and making them draw a card. And we access Bloom. What an interesting splash, man. All right. Okay. Just a second. All right. Apologies for that. Okay. We are back, and we are definitely going to go ahead and poke this Archives. Mongoose breaks 4-3. Oh, there we go. Oh, I broke up and then I have to boost. There we go. We did that out of order, but If you really want to be official, it didn't work. But most of the folks on Jinteki are smart enough to know what's going on. So the question is, how many things got junked? 2. I have not seen Concept Hopper in a long time. This has mostly been pushed out by corporate sales team. But HP probably should be including this. There's a real good chance you're getting a run out of them every turn. It's worth consideration, maybe. Alright, so we did pick up some goodies. And I would actually be open to... Let's go for the big one. Alright, so now we're going to set up our draw. And we're going to go ahead and run archives again. We're going to boost up our little mongoose. Break with our mongoose. Continue. We're going to continue. And instead of accessing, we are going to go ahead and put down our Hades shard as our successful run instead. So now we can save 3 credits or whatever. The important thing to know is that archives is not safe at any point. And that they know... Alright, so they had to do peak efficiency to gain 3 credits, which is with the cost. It's essentially they had to spend a card for a single magnum opus click, which is not favorable. But they wanted cards out of their hand, and they need money very badly. Very rude. So, what do they do in this spot? They want to score things out. They also want some money. No, and I didn't look at the chat log. They did a blue level clearance, which got them cards, got them money. They're pretty happy about that. But they do have to dump some cards now. They do have to dump cards. And those cards can't be agendas because we will just haze them. Or, you know, they could be playing the big ol' bluffing game. And maybe I won't go for them. But regardless of all the hemming and hawing, I cannot get into HQ without a barrier breaker, without a fractor. So, Earthrise, give me a winner. Earthrise did not give me a winner, but we are definitely in the area where we could inside job into HQ. That is not super great. Actually, I would like to run R&D. First click. Just so we can cross off that Fairchild threat if it is going to be something to worry about. Alright, there is an X bronze. That's kicking us out. That's boosting their things up a little bit. And that's fine. Alright, we are going to go ahead and draw. I believe subliminal triggers on if we didn't make a run at all. So we turned off both of those subliminals. We don't need some of these extras. So we're just going to go ahead, put down another daily casts. And whoopsie daisy, that was an error. Alright. Silly us, we gotta play the gamble first. Silly us. And now we're all good. So we have some money flowing in. We did make a run. We need an answer to next silver pretty soon. Or, honestly, we need another, well, I was about to say we need another breaker, but we do have our code gate one hanging up. Oh my goodness. You guys haven't been in full screen this entire time. I'm very sorry. Alright, so we do have an install and another blue level clearance. They need to dump stuff. So the question is, are they going for an agenda? There's exactly one way to find out, and that is hopping right into this server. So they need to turn that on. Oh, that's a pop-up. Oh, that's not bad at all. So now that we know that, that's good to know because we do have an option to get through the server and it's just femming the next. So what do we got? Well, I'm glad we came in because we don't want them to have that either. We do not want them to pull out of their money hole at all. So our Earthrise is almost done. I am up for a draw. We can put down another daily cast. And we can put this to really say, hey, we're not as afraid to run R&D anymore. And we'll see how they respond to that. Of course, putting Passport down does give them a real red flag that, hey, there's a good chance I'm not running anything as great for remote servers. So they could feel real safe buying that next bronze. But they did install something there as a bit of a backup. What we really want... Well, we're about to get 4 credits and 2 cards at the start of our turn. What a turn start. And I am happy about what's going on here. They likely have a lot of agendas in there. They are looking for a remote server to start going. And this would be a great... I would be very happy if this could pull into Breach, our Fractor. And it did. Alright. Break up to 3 barrier subroutines. It is currently at 3 subroutines. So we're going to go ahead and plop Breach down. And then I believe we are going to legwork right now. Yeah, we are going to go ahead and legwork. And we are going to go ahead. First of all, we're going to break those subroutines. It has 3 subroutines because there are 3 next pieces of ice up. I don't need a boost strength because next silver is pretty small. Now we are going to go ahead and force one more draw. And we're going to see what we get. This could be game. Beta. Boom. Next silver. Alright, so that is not game ending. But it still puts them in a very, very tough place. We are going to go ahead. What do we want? We're going to gain 1 more credit. And we don't need this Desperado at all. We have the Desperado we love very much already. And I am expecting that they want to put whatever agenda they need to score into that remote, because that remote is much more secure than whatever is going on in HQ. So for things they need to get accomplished right now, they need to patch up HQ, and the likely huge old chunk of agendas hanging out needs to be taken care of. So they did pull naturally into another subliminal, because they didn't pull that into their hand. And at this point, I'm thinking their subliminal is just for value. Now, they did patch over HQ, but we have all of our breakers to get into centrals just fine. It will be a little sad if that is the 3rd next bronze, because that's going to turn next silver on to a very important number. However, this is a perfect time for a siphon. Because, all right. When I see a double ice like that so aggressively, against Mongoose in particular, it's going to make me think that could be a double sentry. An agenda. Lots of things we can find out. They do have 7 credits. And sometimes the best way to find these things out is to just go and see what we get. I am expecting a double sentry. It very easily just could be another bronze and a silver. But we'll see what we get. They're thinking about it. Because if it's a bronze and a silver, that's enough for them to duck a good chunk of the siphon. Well. Alright, so that is another next silver, which is... which means we can't get in anymore. Because we would need to go break, break, and then break, break. So we're using it 4 times, so we're at 8. So we're 1 credit short here, which is unfortunate. So we do need to jack out. And it does mean we just go ahead and shift over to R&D. So one of the nice things you notice as playing Fisk is that notice what we have depleted. They're down to 12. So we're going to go and run R&D. We're going to go ahead and boost up our passport to 4, break, and we're going to continue. There are 4 credits, so I'm not particularly scared of anything they could res behind this one. So let's see what we're going to get. I think they want to score something out desperately, so we are going to go ahead and force them to draw. And we definitely want to trash that mining corporation. The lack of Find the Truth showing up is a bit of a bummer. And actually, this is a perfect time to do it because we just trashed a mining corporation, which means whatever is here is nice and fresh. And it's our last illusion thing, so we definitely want to get in here. And we are also at the point, at any point, we could just win the game. Fairchild 1.0. Not scared. This is basically a pop-up. Well, not a pop-up. It's a pup. Much more comparable. All right, and our Illusion and R&D is done. We're going to drop, and we pulled into another account siphon. So we do have some math on how do we do HQ. HQ is 8 plus X. X being whatever that outermost HQ ice is. All right, so they are advanced. They did go for the advanced. They've got another accelerated out. And they're not triggering it, which makes sense. However, they are trashing things from HQ. And they do need to keep in mind that they simply cannot throw their agendas into the trash. However, they are at the point where it's a little easier to win out now. They've got 4 points. They're not in as bad as a position. Well, we want to draw into some answers. They do not have any fast advance options right now. And we can always just be rude and slam down the famine. Hopefully sneak in here. But let's find out. I really want that Find the Truth. That's not it. This gives me 2 credits. I don't think there's anything that cheap. That's just not worth it in this matchup. Earthrise is... Yeah, we're still at 20 cards. They are much lower than we are. So we are going to go ahead. Get that out. Now we do want to run because we don't want to give them the subliminal. And we're running at a loss, but you never know what we can find. I'm not going to be rezzing whatever this is, which I'm still have a suspicion it's Fairchild 3.0. Do we want them to draw? Yes, this is what being Fisk is about. And we access Architect. And Architect is a pretty important one. Yeah. So right now, I'm not feeling the Hades Shard. But it's hard to know with what the actual pressure in Archives is. I think it's very possible that HQ is just stuffed to the brim right now. So we're going to see what we do about that. So how many points are in the game so far? We have 6, 8, 10. I think we are very much approaching the area where we could deck, and as a result, we probably want to start forcing that draw every single time. They did install that taking credit, so that's probably that Fairchild 1.0, trying to add a little bit of tax onto that, just to make it so I keep out of there. Tapworm, well, we definitely have the memory for it. It's... All right, so we do know that this section is 8 credits. to get through. And that could be a Fairchild 1.0, but I'm feeling good enough that I think we can just start getting some blind HQ accesses with, and maybe close out the game. So we're going to go here, and I guess they have 1 credit, so I'm not particularly concerned about whatever they res being too much for us to handle. So let's see what we get. So sure enough, nothing. So we're going to go ahead and break the 4 subroutines. Right, it is 4 subroutines. Okay, so we are good to get through. We don't have to boost strength. Here we're also going to go ahead and break our 4 subroutines, and we're going to get in. I think maybe instead of the Hades shard, I would like to run the Gank Sign. Or some sort of multi-HQ access. I think legwork's nice. We'll trigger that. We are going to force them to draw a card. And there's our concept hopper, and that is our game. GG, friendo. Let's see if we can get a res all of them. We're so curious. Let's see what our prediction game was like. That was a pop-up. We were expecting Fairchild 1.0, but I guess that makes more sense. Oh my goodness. Well, we were very wrong about that 3.0. It turned out to be an architect all the time. Thanks, friendo. Oh, my apologies. Now, I feel as if there are many moments in the game where they did have more than 4 credits. They did have an architect up. They probably... Our friend probably just didn't feel as if a 3-credit tax was enough to turn off RMD. It was a pleasure. Okay, they left. Well, yeah, our opponent put up quite a fight there. Wow, we didn't even have to siphon. Well, this is probably... Well, this may be your first look at me pulling off a runner for Jank Job. Hopefully you enjoyed this deck. I will go ahead and post Fisk the Truth in the comments, well, you know, in the video description. But if you're looking for the exact changes I made, well, I'll check the deck and see, you remember how much I changed. We can actually look at the rest of the deck right now for a bit. If we look at our deck, what else was here? A lot of money, our equivocations, and our Find the Truth didn't show up. So this deck really functioned without its big dramatic splashes, which is a good thing to know. Anyway, tell me what you'd like me to play next, or what sort of nonsense jank decks you'd like me to pilot next time. That's it for me, and that's it for Jank Job today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope the jank keeps on flowing and pumping through each and every one of you. Bye-bye.